Welcome to Middle Age Magic, the theme park planning and holiday vlog with your very snotty hosts, because I have a cold, Sharon,
And Sam,
who hasn't.
and I'm not snotty. So, if you've been around for a couple of months, you will have seen that we went back to Disneyland Paris
Hooray! Twice.
twice. Obviously, once wasn't enough.
No.
But yeah, we went back twice, once in September and once in October. And we just wanted to give our little
Honest review.
honest reviews, thoughts,
Yeah.
suggestions on what we thought of our trip. So stay tuned and you will hear what we thought about going back to Disneyland Paris after
4 years. Yeah.
Right, so this is our opinions on Disneyland Paris after 4 years away. We went back for 3 days in September, which was the last week of the 30th celebration.
And pretty much exactly 4 years to when we both been
It
together,
was,
wasn't it?
yeah, it was pretty much the 4 years. And then we went back for 3 days again in October, which was the middle of October for the D100 celebration day.
Yeah.
Right.
More about that later.
Yeah, more about that one later. Right, so we're going to start on what we thought of Disneyland Paris's food. Now, Disneyland Paris is not known for its food.
Some people absolutely rave about it. And
Some people are wrong.
It wasn't all bad. She makes it sound like it was disgusting, but no, it wasn't all bad.
No, but when you compare, I mean, obviously, yes, it's theme park food. We know this. You can't get away from it.
And obviously that means you're going to pay a premium.
Yeah, and it's theme park food. Yeah, we can't get away from that. Disneyland Paris has never been known for its theme park food at all. Not when you obviously people are going to compare the food at Disneyland Paris to the food to Walt Disney World. Disneyland Paris has less choice, less
Variety.
well, less choice, less variety, and less imagination when it comes to food.
Yeah.
I think is the one word you could, when you see the food coming out of the food festivals at Walt Disney World and you see the signature cupcakes and signature desserts
And the cookies.
and the cookies, all of the good filth stuff.
Quality filth.
Yeah, quality filth. Disneyland Paris lacks in that aspect.
Mm.
But when we went out in September, the food festival was on in the Disney studios. And we know that the food there is always good.
Yeah.
And it's cheap in comparison to what you're normally going to pay.
Yeah.
So we always head there.
Mm.
And it's always a go-to place for lunch or like dinner or, we always head for the food festivals. And that's what we did this time.
Yeah.
We went in and we started, our first day we got into the parks about 3 o'clock. So we thought, we'll just like grab a late lunch because we'd been traveling.
Did we have sandwiches that day?
We had the baguettes.
That was it.
And they were freshly made and the bread was freshly baked and you could
Pick your filling. It's a bit like a Subway.
Yeah. Subway with fresh French baguettes.
Yeah.
And they were €6 each for a whole baguette, which is amazing
nice.
value when you look at it.
It was tasty as well.
Yeah. So, we always if there is a food festival on in Disney Studios, which up until this year has only really been from June till the end of August, June to the end of September. So it's like the summer months they would have their food festival on. This year they've also done a Christmas one, and starting next year they're bringing one in for the spring. So there will be pretty much a food festival on for the whole of the year in the studios, which I'm actually looking forward to.
It's not quite as extravagant as the ones they have in Epcot.
No, it's not as big,
but it's a good start.
It's a good start.
Yes.
And we actually went back to the food festival for dinner on another night as
Oh,
well.
yeah, I had the paella,
You
didn't
had the
I?
paella.
Which was nice.
I had pizza because they had an Italian booth, and again, really good value. Everything in the food festival booths are like $6 to $7.
Euros.
Euros. Not. I'm in dollar mode now. Okay. We've got 40. How many days?
42.
We've
at
got
the time of
42.
recording.
Time recording. We've got 42 days. So my head's now in dollar mode. But yeah. So all the food festival portions
Yeah,
are 6 to 7.
Yeah, I think the desserts start at 4.
Yeah. Desserts are at 4. So
Mm.
that's not too bad.
No, and if you want some booze, they also do drinks.
Yeah, and said it's a nice way to have a light dinner or a lunch or a snack
Just a snack.
without breaking the bank.
Yep.
Um,
So thumbs up for that.
yeah, thumbs up.
Two thumbs up.
Two thumbs up for the festivals in
Yep.
the food festivals in the studios. We also were trying to find
Halloween stuff, weren't we?
no, that was
second trip.
October was Halloween. But we were trying to find special items that they
30th.
had for the 30th.
That was right, 30th. I'm all in that.
Yeah, all the 30th snacks are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
The only 30th snack they had was a celebration cookie, which was a plain cookie with star-shaped sprinkles.
Very nice, but
come on, lack of imagination going on here. So just no, just not right. We did go into the Hyperion, which is the quick service restaurant.
Yep.
In the Hyperion Cafe, which is in the Hyperion Theatre, which is quick service, and we had their celebration burger there. Now, burgers I've never ranked at Disneyland Paris. They're normally the worst quality, boring cheeseburger you can buy. But I must admit, on these 2 last trips,
you've been pleasantly surprised.
The Hyperion Cafe have knocked it out of the park with their burgers. They are tasty, they are inventive, they are fresh.
And the meat is juicy.
Yeah.
All the ingredients on the inside are super fresh. There was loads of rocket. Love rocket.
Yeah.
There was loads
and the
of
taste combinations have been brilliant. Even, I mean, when we get to the October trip.
What did the 30th burger have in it? Did it have bacon? Did it have a peppercorny sauce? Can't remember.
Add bacon and peppercorn sauce and pepper cheese, and
it was lush.
It was really nice.
We have done a video review. Where you can see
if you go back, you'll see the video review
with it.
Of it, and yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised with the quality of the food at the Hyperion. Which
sometimes it's a bit of a pain to get a seat because it's obviously very popular.
Yeah, because it is really the only quick service in the Disney park that serves burgers.
Yeah.
Then it's normally busy because most people go for a burger. So, but there is lots of seating. Sometimes you just have to go up onto the upper tiers to find seating, but there's normally seating available. Yeah. In the summer months, you do have outdoor seating. It's limited outdoors, but there is outdoor seating there. Where else did we eat? Oh, obviously our old favourite, the Earl of Sandwich.
Oh yes, we did.
Which we went on the first night.
Can't go wrong with the Earl of Sandwich.
Can't go wrong with the Earl of Sandwich. It's been good quality.
We always get the same bloody thing.
We do. We are creatures of habit when we go to the Earl of Sandwich.
Always have the barbecue Hawaiian.
Yeah, and what do I know? I can't.
You have the Philly cheese.
That's the one. Thank you.
So I know what you eat when we go out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was absolutely heaving, wasn't it? The first night we were there.
It was really, really
could
busy.
not get a seat anywhere.
No, we came out the park. We were going to go to
We were going to go to Billy Bob's.
We were going to go to Billy Bob's, but they were closed because they had a private function on. Then we looked at the sports bar, and there was like about an hour queue for a seat.
There was a rugby match on, wasn't there?
Yeah, in September we were out there during the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah,
and Disneyland Paris were hosting something to do with it. So there were lots of private events going on. There was lots of groups walking around with special lanyards on.
Sam loves a special group with a lanyard, especially if they've got a flag.
Yeah, oh, enjoy. And so everywhere was really, really busy, including the village after the parks closed. It was very, very busy.
Of course, we're still 2 restaurants down. Well, now it's only 1 restaurant down, but at the time we were 2 restaurants down in the village.
Yes, yeah, because obviously Cafe Mickey was closed and Planet Hollywood was closed.
Yeah.
But yes, so we ended up it was like, where are we going? I was like, well, really, we've got the choice of McDonald's or...
Oh, we're not eating at McDonald's.
So we ended up in Earl of Sandwich,
Can't
which
go
was
wrong.
great. It was like, this is comfort food, and it's a ritual that we always eat in Earl of Sandwich at least once a
And
week.
they do other things now, don't they? In the evening, they do pizza. They do like a pasta
Pizza,
bowl.
they do pasta, they do, I think it's meatballs
Yeah.
and salad bowls. So you've got choices there. But yeah, Earl of Sandwich didn't let us down. It was as good as always.
Yep.
So
Managed to fill
definitely
for a 30th anniversary cup.
we did. So yeah, definitely recommend Earl of Sandwich to anyone. Either here, either at Disneyland Paris or at Walt Disney
At Walt
World.
Disney World, yeah.
You know, the
go
quality
wrong.
is the same. Can't go wrong with it. Then where else did we eat? Because I can't remember now. They were the two standout ones. The food festival, the Hyperion. Oh, So the following night we came out.
We
the
did go
parks
into
again.
Billy Bob's. We had a snack.
We went
didn't
into
we?
Billy Bob's. Yeah, we got the nachos
And
and
a mocktail.
a mocktail each, which was enough because we'd eaten at the Hyperion that day and for lunch, and we snacked as well. And then
Was that the day we watched the drone show?
it was.
Yeah, we'd also consumed a bucket of popcorn that day as
Yeah,
well.
yes, we'd had popcorn. So we went to Billy Bob's and we sat outside and we had nachos and a mocktail each. The mocktails were lovely. Nachos, basically they were heated, they were cold Doritos with tubs of like salsa, but it was pre-packaged, tear off lid, like ketchup style salsa. But it was nice and filled whole. But more about the nachos later. So yeah, so we ate nice things, and we went back to the food festival a couple of times because one, it's easy to get. You don't have to wait for a seat. It's a little booth. You just get your food and wander. Two, it's cheap. You know, it was, and it's normally, and what we've been finding, it's better quality at the food, better quality of food at the food festivals that you will get at the quick service, which is a lot to be said. So moving on to the October trip. Now the October trip, we were out there for Halloween, and we'd seen that they had Halloween snacks available. There were four Halloween snacks available. And
Can you remember what they were?
oh, I can remember one of them. It's stuck in my mind, like. But yeah, so I made it my
Mission.
job to try all four, and they were only available in the food carts. They weren't available in any of the shops.
They're only available in specific food carts
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, one of them, this is the one that's stuck in my mind. It was a Mickey shortbread cookie shaped in a bat with beautiful icing on.
I'll put a picture about it here when I do
Yeah,
the editing.
and it was only available in one place. Right. It took us 2 days to find this cookie because they weren't open. And then I got my cookie and I was so pleased about it. It looked so pretty.
It was lovely
so
pictures
big,
of it, all artistically.
amazing photos. And then almost broke my teeth biting it.
It was like eating a brick, wasn't it?
It was like eating a piece of iced cardboard. It was burnt on the edges. It was rock hard. Now I don't know whether I got a bad one. I'm not saying they were all like it because I don't know, because I didn't eat all of them. So I may have just got a bad one. I don't know.
I would have liked to have tried to eat all of them.
Yeah,
but
I
not if they
wasn't
tasted like that.
paying like, because they're something like €5.
Mm.
So yeah, so that was the cookie. You then had a meringue shaped Mickey head that was covered in orange icing.
Looked like one of their pumpkin-y things, didn't
They
it?
looked like, because we never actually got to taste it.
Because it was gone.
Now, again, this was only available in 2 places. And we were going to them and they're like, oh no, it's gone. And I went, oh, have you like sold out for today? And they were like, no, it's gone.
Bearing in mind it was the middle of October.
No, this was like
wasn't for 2 weeks.
The 16th and 17th of October, and they're like, no, it's gone, it's finished. I'm like, yeah, but is that for today? We get more in. No, it's gone, it's finished. I'm like, it's 2 weeks to Halloween. What are you on about? It's like, why? So yeah, we didn't have much luck with the Halloween snacks, unfortunately.
No, only the vampire brick Mickey was available.
Yeah,
and we were too scared to go back and try another one after the
after the first one put us off.
Which was a shame because it looked good.
It did look good. And this time we saw that the lucky. Now we've seen that we went to the Lucky Nugget
Years and years
like
ago.
10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
When the kids were little, and it was a character meal. It's now a sit down quick service hybrid.
Mm.
You go in, you order your meal at the till, you pay for it, you go and sit down, and then a waiter will bring over your food, which is on a plate with knives and forks. So it's a quick service hybrid.
Yeah.
But normally there's a massive long queue for it, and we're like, no. But this time we saw that it was empty, and they had a special dessert with the Halloween meal, and that was a Madame Leota sundae.
Yeah, the burger was called the
Wahaha
burger.
And just the fact it was the Madame Leota sundae, I was like, I can't miss that. I've got to go and have it.
we had to eat it.
We had to eat it. So we got the Wahaha burger, which was a black bun and like squid ink bun and burgers and apple
Aberdeen Angus
burger, and then it had a pumpkin chestnut apple sauce chutney
like a jam thing.
I don't do pumpkin. I'm not a lover of pumpkin.
No, it was a pumpkin. It had pumpkin spice in it, which you like pulled a face out of first.
I did. I pulled a face, screwed my nose up, and went But it was so well done.
The portion of fries that had like a peppery,
spicy mix,
like a little drizzle of like peppercorn mayonnaise or something on it, wasn't it? Or mustardy. It was nice.
Yeah, and I must admit the flavours were so well balanced. I didn't notice the pumpkin spice.
No, it's really subtle.
Again, nice and fresh. You know, it hadn't been sat around for ages.
About a whole field of rocket in it, didn't it?
It did have a lot of rocket in it.
Which is nice because we like rocket.
Yeah. And the Madame Leota sundae was
too chocolatey for me, so Sam got 1.5.
I got 1.5 of the sundaes. That was good. I don't mind that.
And our tongues went black.
But it was amazing, and I think we'd forgotten what it was like in there. So that has now made the list of places we will go back to.
It's slightly more expensive than going to a bog standard quick service. I think it was €27.
Yeah, basically the set menu at the Hyperion, I think, is now €19, 19 or €20. You then, I know which is going to compare the two of them. The set menu for the Halloween set menu
was €20 at the Hyperion.
Was it 20 or 23?
Oh, it might have been 23.
And then the one at but that doesn't include a dessert at the Hyperion. It's just a burger, drink, and fries. At the Lucky Nugget, it's like burger, drink, fries, and dessert, and that was 27. But I think that's now gone up to 28 because just after we left, all their food prices went up by €1. That's how we know this. So yeah, Lucky Nugget has really joined the list of places we are happy to eat at.
Which isn't a long list, to be fair.
No, it's not a long list at Disneyland Paris, but it's a place where we're happy to eat at. Another Halloween item that was on our list was the dessert platter, sampler platter at Victoria's.
I almost forgot about this.
Oh, how could you forget?
I know, we spent ages and it was great.
Yeah, this was my must-do item.
And they'd sold out 2 days before we went, so we were on panic mode.
Yeah, because they'd only been out 3 days and suddenly they've sold out, and we don't know when we're getting more back. And I was like, panic mode. I need to try this.
You said you were going to throw a toddler temper tantrum if they didn't.
There was going to be a 2-year-old toddler temper tantrum. Yes, if I couldn't have them. For any people who don't know, Victoria's do a dessert sampler menu. So you get the choice of 3 or 5 little mini pastries. And they can be like eclairs, mini cheesecakes, mini tarts.
Yeah.
Or for Halloween, they did a villains themed dessert sampler.
So we had to go.
It was villains. We had to have them.
Yes.
And I was so happy we did because they were great. And the one that really stood out, which had the description included black pepper, and it's like black pepper in a dessert. I'm not sure, but you couldn't taste it, so it really just had a hint of something. But it
made it. It made it, didn't it? It was just a little.
It was really good. There was a macaron. There was a chocolate and raspberry tart. There was
There was that puffy pastry.
oh yeah, like a shoe puff pastry ball, but they were all filling the same. So there's like Captain Hook, Maleficent, Cruella de Vil, Queen of Hearts. So also, and they were brilliant. Victoria's is table service. You go down, sit down, and they come and serve you. And
They're
it's
not always the fastest, but it's
no. But I think that's just French restaurants in general.
very laid
They're
back.
not very. They're very. When it comes to eating, they take it very slowly, and it's meant to be enjoyed. Nice
Oh,
and
we
relaxed.
certainly enjoyed it.
Yes. So we did. There is a full description and full review of them in the days, and that's the D100 day blog. So if you want to come look at that. Where else did we go? Ah,
We went in the
yes,
Hyperion again to eat the other burger.
we did. Yes, so we could actually compare the two burgers. It's like, okay, so we're paying like 27 euros for this one, and this one's 21, and we know obviously you don't get the dessert, but the description of the burgers was
Very similar.
very, very similar. They both had this pumpkin apple chestnut puree on. Both had rocket in both burgers. The only difference one had the one in the one in the Lucky Nugget had bacon.
And it was a slightly different burger. The one in the
and it didn't have had the black bun.
Yeah.
And the one in the Hyperion was a normal bun and didn't have the bacon. But other than that, they were the same. So we wanted to compare the two, just like what there is the price difference justified between the two. And I think the way I described it was the one in the Hyperion was the Aldi version of the
Marks and Sparks version.
Marks and Sparks version of the Hyperion. That was the only way I could think of describing it.
They were both really good. If we'd have had the Hyperion one first, we wouldn't have sort of not turned our nose up at it. That was
wouldn't have complained.
No, it was still really good.
Yeah. Still nicely balanced flavours.
Yeah, it wasn't dry.
Because we were there and it was very busy, it was very fresh. You know, they were literally cooking things to order because it was
busy.
Turnover was so fast there. So yeah, Hyperion. For some reason, the burgers in Disneyland Paris are knocking it out of the park.
Yeah,
I don't know why they've suddenly upped their game with the burgers. I wish they would up their game with all the food.
Stuff,
basically, just
because there's not a lot. If you want a quick service, there's not that much to choose from. To be fair,
no.
We've got Casey's.
You've got Casey's. You've got Colonel Haithy,
which does pizza and pasta.
Which is pizza and pasta. Casey's obviously hot dogs only, and then you've got the Hyperion, which is burgers. So that's your choice. Oh, and you've got the Coco quick service now, which is
the Mexican one, which doesn't.
But I refuse to pay 11 euros for a taco.
Yeah, it's not as. It doesn't look as nice as it was previously.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a decent price because you used to be able to get a meal deal. That's gone away now, and they're now charging 11 and 12 euros for a taco.
There's still Hakuna Matata, but they've changed their menu.
Yeah, Hakuna Matata have changed their menus.
Which poncy, that's the wrong description. But it used to be like a kebab.
Yeah.
They've changed that to a pulled beef sandwich, which is probably similar.
Yeah, but they don't do normal chips. It's plantain.
Yeah, they've changed their chips.
So
and they've changed some of the other stuff. So
yeah, so it doesn't appeal to us anymore.
No, we're fussy, aren't we?
I just like a decent food.
I don't mind paying for it if it's decent.
Yeah,
food.
Oh yeah,
but
well.
We'll get onto that later.
Yeah.
Because long gone are the days that we do carry it to meals, and unless it's a really fancy sit-down restaurant, we're not going to have a sit-down restaurant at Disneyland Paris anymore because we've done most of the ones we've wanted to do previously.
I want to do Waltz.
Oh yeah, that's Waltz is still on the list because we've never done it.
Yeah, obviously, we will be going back in 2024.
Multiple times.
A few times.
Yeah.
And we have said in obviously with the needs of the channel, we are prepared to sacrifice ourselves. We are prepared to make the sacrifice of trying out some of the sit-down restaurants.
You make it sound like it's going to be a chore.
It is. It will be a chore in Disneyland Paris. One of them that I've never eaten in.
Be pleasantly surprised.
I hope I am, but I don't have high hopes. One of them that I've never eaten in all the years we've been going, and that's because 90% of the time it wasn't open. is Waltz.
Yep.
And so, and
it used to be a lot more expensive than it is now.
yeah, and I
They
don't
seem
know
to have
why.
standardised on their pricing.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I'm suspicious as to why.
But people that have eaten in it recently have raved about it. So I don't know
yeah,
whether they.
and I think that's one of the only restaurants I've actually seen good reviews come out of.
So we will be doing that. Maybe we should do that when we go back in. When are we going? March.
March, yeah, we're going back out of March. Obviously, I'd like to do Cafe Agrabah again.
Oh yes, because that was lovely. That was a good buffet.
That was a good buffet. Obviously, Captain Jack's is back on the list.
And there's that chicken coconut curry thing that they do is absolutely luscious.
Because I don't eat fish, but it's always like they serve chicken. So yeah. But
no
yeah,
fish,
so
no chicken, nothing on the bone. Can't have meat on the bone. Oh no.
I'm picky. So yeah, we've decided that basically for one meal for every trip now we're going to try
a sit down.
Because it's been years since
while.
we've done it. It's been all
yeah.
So yes, and obviously we went. Now this time we went to the sports bar. Now
You're forgetting about the epic hidden gem.
Oh no, I'm going to save that one for last.
Okay.
Because
ignore me.
Because our hidden gem is amazing.
We're going to the sports bar
and
now.
I don't want to tell people about it. Because then everyone will go there.
So to the sports bar.
Yeah, so we went to the sports bar,
which is always awesome.
Yeah, it's always our go-to place to sit down in the evening after we come out the parks, get a drink, get some snackage, or if if we've been shopping on the last day and we want to have a drink before we travel back.
You say drink like we're alcoholics, but we mean a mocktail.
Yeah, no, mocktail. And
they do good bar snacks, don't they?
The bar snacks are so good there. We had nachos again. One of our go-to things is nachos. And the difference between the nachos at Billy Bob's and the nachos at the sports bar, and they are opposite each other.
Yeah, they're literally just across the road.
It was unbelievable. These nachos come out warm. They had the cheese sauce drizzled over them and the salsa, and they're just like.
And we got a complimentary bag of peanuts.
Yes, we got complimentary peanuts. I've still got them indoors actually. And they were doing a Halloween themed mocktail.
Can't remember what it was called.
Can't remember what it was called, but we had this Halloween that had pumpkin spice in the mocktail as well. And I'm like going,
I might end up with two of these.
Yeah, it's like your turn to end up with two. But it was so nice. It was so mellow. Again, flavours balanced brilliantly. I was pleasantly surprised.
It tasted like I said. It tasted like Halloween. That was the only way I could describe it. It smelled and tasted like Halloween. It looked like Halloween. It was like orange and purple.
It was amazing.
Yeah. I'll stick a picture up.
Yeah. And and it was so good. We went back the next day and had noodles
and some chips.
That time. So sports bar I would highly recommend to anyone. And you can sit out. You can either sit inside or you can sit outside. They have heaters in the winter. To sit outside.
And they do really good bar snacks. You can have fries. You can have pizza. They do hot dogs. They do
chicken tenders.
Yeah. So
chicken tenders are good.
And it's all under a tenner. So I think the nachos and the fries are about. The fries are only €4. I think the nachos are £6.
Yeah.
The pizza's like 12 or 14.
Yeah, it's reasonably priced as well.
Yeah, and they're big pizzas. So
yeah, I actually found the photo from when we were there 4 years ago, and we did what we thought because it said bar snacks.
We thought they'd only be little.
We thought they'd only be little. So we got the chicken tenders, chips, and the pizza, and there was so much food on this table. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
we ended up taking some.
Yeah, we took some home with us, didn't we?
Yeah, because we had way too much food.
Yeah.
But we've learnt a lesson now that at sports bar you can order a couple of bar snacks and that will do you a meal quite happily. Sports bar highly recommended, but I've always highly recommended the sports bar.
Yeah, they do great mocktails. They also do all your regular beers, cocktails, all that kind of stuff. Soft drink for kids. There's a play area for the kids outside.
Yep.
Isn't there with a goal so you can play football?
They pool hole as well.
Oh yeah.
And you've got the big screen. They've also got the massive screen that shows football and rugby.
Yeah, and they play music when there's no sports on.
Yeah, so it's just a lovely atmosphere. It's really nice. Now one of the snacks I had. Now I'd been wanting to get this snack all the 3 days, and I was hunting for it, trying to find where it was, because again it was only available in one cart. And then I found it, and it was cheesecake on a stick. Of course it would be. Why wouldn't it be?
It really was cheesecake on a stick.
And it was cheesecake on a stick dipped in chocolate. So,
Imagine an almond magnum,
but cheesecake.
but cheesecake on the inside, not ice cream.
Yeah, it was cheesecake on a stick. It was
I
brilliant.
really wish I'd bought one for myself now. I was a bit
Yeah.
dubious.
He was like, I'll have a bite of yours. Yeah, no.
I did have a little
You did.
bit.
I gave you a little bit there. But yeah, so, and that's down like this little
Side alley.
But it was amazing. Loved that. And that is opposite our little hidden gem that we found this time. And that is the Star Diner and their shawarma. Now,
what's it called? The Super something diner, isn't it?
the super, I thought it was a Star Diner.
I don't know. Anyway, the diner beyond
the diner behind Web Slingers. Sharon had been going on that she wanted the shawarma. We found the shawarma, and oh dear, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's a little hidden gem.
Yeah, it's the world's smallest restaurant.
It is so tiny. It is like an airline, like the Airstream.
It's basically an American diner. It looks like a posh caravan.
Yeah,
that they park up in a shopping mall somewhere.
Yep, and that, but they do have outdoor seating again. Not a lot, but there is some outdoor seating. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Again, it is to sit down, so it is tiny. We were actually sat. Again, there is footage on our day 3 vlog from the October trip, and yeah,
it's mouth watering thinking about this one.
But it was tasty. It was fresh. You could see them preparing it.
Yeah, open kitchen.
Open kitchen. So you knew it was being prepared fresh. It was hot. It was tasty. It was really good value for money.
If you don't know what a shawarma is, think of a chicken doner kebab.
Ish. Yeah.
So it's basically slices of chicken.
Yeah.
Marinated in it's not a spicy sauce. It's just marinated in some awesome flavored juice. They make it like a bit like a kebab. It wasn't on a pitta. It was on a
like a flatbread.
Yeah, which they cooked while you were waiting. And then you had a choice of, you had your salad, and then you had a choice of either
a hummus
or a red pepper hummus.
Yeah. And it was really nice. It was, I must admit, it was very tasty.
It was tasty.
So that's
messy.
Very messy, but really tasty, very fresh, great value for money. Which, as I've said, is hard to find.
It's about €11, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
It was very filling as well, because you thought, it doesn't look very big.
Yeah, but it was really filling. So yeah, so that was our food recommendations really for.
And we got waved at by Loki and Thor while we were outside eating the
cheesecake.
Did.
While we were eating the cheesecake, yeah, we got waved at by Loki and Thor. Obviously, because nothing says attractive like a 50-year-old woman with a cheesecake in her mouth. So yes. But yeah, so food-wise, that's really our top recommendations in Disneyland Paris at the moment is find the little hidden gems.
Yep.
Don't if you're there when a Disney food festival is on, go to it because you'll have more choice. It's fresh, it's cheap.
Yeah, and you can treat it like tapas. You can get like 3 or 4 dishes to share between you, and that's more than enough.
Yeah, I mean, well, the first time we went, you had your baguette and you got the tempura prawns.
I got the tempura prawns because I've seen loads of people raving about them, and I had to have them.
But yeah, you can literally get what everyone wants at one time. So one of you can go to, say, the Italy booth, one can go to this, which is what we did.
Yeah, you went to Italy. I went to Italy.
You went to Spain. So you can like bop around the booths. It's like not a problem. Which if you've got fussy eaters and they just want, a portion of chips or like a ham baguette.
Yeah.
But you want to try something different, you can just bop off and get them, and then they'll come back into one place.
You don't feel pressured that you've got to go and get a reservation at one of the really posh or one of the really popular sit-down restaurants, because you can eat. You can eat. You don't need to book a restaurant. You can eat without. We never book restaurants anymore, do we?
No, which is why us actually booking a restaurant, well, once on a trip now
Yeah.
is going to be really unusual for us.
Yeah.
But I'm actually quite looking forward to it.
And when we see all the things, oh, you must have the dining plan when you go to Disneyland Paris. No, you don't.
No, you don't do the dining plan.
If you want to, you can eat anywhere. If you're prepared to be flexible and you wing it, you can.
Yeah.
You will not go hungry.
So yeah, the dining plan in Disneyland Paris isn't worth it. I don't care what anyone says. When I've seen the cost of what people are paying for it, it's definitely not worth it. And I think they have inflated the prices in the restaurants to match the dining plan.
Yeah, definitely.
Compared to what we were paying 4 years ago for them, they've definitely inflated the prices in the restaurants because now all the restaurants are fixed price menus.
Yeah, I think the character meal at the Plaza Gardens is double what it was 4 years ago.
Yeah. I actually remember it being something like €30 when we first started going, and now it's 90.
Yeah.
And the food hasn't changed, the experience hasn't changed.
No.
So, no.
So what other things? Should we say something nice about Disneyland Paris?
No, I haven't finished being nasty yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, not nasty, honest.
Sorry, Tom, didn't see you there. Carry on.
Right. As I said in the second trip, which it was Halloween, we were out there, which was a nice surprise for Halloween decorations, but we was also out there for the D100 day.
Oh, I'd almost forgot about that.
Oh, I hadn't.
Okay, let's do this bit first. We'll get the bad out of the way and then we'll move on to the good.
If you had watched the vlog, you will notice I went into a bit of a rant while I was there. That I'm not over that rant yet. It's still there.
Disappointed.
It is still there. I am seriously just, what the hell were you thinking?
They weren't. No, I think that was what the problem was.
If you saw my collab with Zach, you'll hear me mention it as well. It's just been a massive bugbear.
We should put a link up to that.
Yeah, we will link that collab with Zach. Yeah. And you know, they're just not trying. It's just,
considering Disneyland Paris are only really acknowledged the Disney 100 anniversary on one day.
Yeah,
I want to say 10 out of 10 for effort, 2 out of 10 for execution.
There was no effort.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
They wanted to make it.
No, there was no effort. There was no effort whatsoever. You know, I mean, the pre-parade parade.
Well, let's start the opening ceremony first, because the opening ceremony was kind of that could have been really good. It was a bit.
No. Let's start the day before. Obviously, no one knew what was going on. All we got promised was a magical experience with unforgettable memories being made. Yeah, okay, but no details, which is normal.
Situation.
Disneyland Paris never gets told anything. 10 o'clock the night before, they released the program,
which was a one-side PDF.
Yeah, it was, and it just said that 9:30 there was going to be an opening ceremony, then these selfie spots, then a pre-parade parade, then the more selfie spots, and then was it a pre-show or an after show?
After show.
Well, and then a celebration after show that was going to be shown in both parks. So we're like, okay, obviously still really none the wiser, but you know, stuff is happening. We're hopeful this could be good.
So we got up really early.
We got up really early to be in the parks when they opened.
And we queued for the first time ever.
Yeah, almost an hour to get into the parks.
And we were in the disabled queue,
which wasn't properly monitored, which was moving slower than the normal queue. So that was Disneyland Paris organisation at its best, which is normal, situation normal. But yeah, so anyway, we get in, we walk up to the hub because that's where this opening ceremony is taking place. We get in, we managed to get into the disabled area, which closed shortly after we got in there because it was full.
I don't think, even though they knew the park capacity, because obviously we've still got the reservation system, I don't think they kind of anticipated. I've never seen, even on a run weekend, the park as busy as it was that day.
Yeah, which makes me say they don't need the reservation system. If they're not paying attention to it, they don't need it.
No.
But that's one of my gripes. if you don't know, with the Disneyland Paris reservation system, it worked differently to Walt Disney World's. It's still in place. Two, you can only book 3 days at a time. And annual pass holders, basically everybody needs a reservation unless you're staying in a Disneyland hotel. But obviously, if they're staying in a Disneyland hotel, they know how many guests they've got, so they can adjust it accordingly. They don't. So yes, so they knew the park was going to be at capacity, and Disneyland Paris have said they are keeping the reservation system in place so they know their staffing levels. They failed. Staff were non-existent.
It was bad.
ridiculous.
People were queuing over an hour to get a coffee at the coffee cart.
Yeah.
And a crepe.
Yeah.
It was obscene. Never seen it so busy.
It was ridiculous. But anyway, the opening ceremony, Fab Five came out the castle onto the centre stages, done a little song and dance bit. Really great. Then
Started off so promising, didn't it?
It started off promising. Within like 2 minutes, they'd failed. You then had the president of Disneyland Paris,
Natasha, what's her bonk? I can never remember her surname.
Came and said her bit. Then you had the Disneyland Paris ambassadors come out. But this was all happening at the far side of the castle stage, looking up Main Street. The disabled area is to the right of the castle, like against the castle. So everything was happening 300 metres away from the disabled area. I'm not saying we should get the better view, but
anyone that was around the back of the
anyone
pub
who was at the back
couldn't
by the castle
see.
couldn't see.
There was no screens, there was no nothing. So we could hear what was going on.
We
but
could hear it, couldn't see it. They then say they're going into what better way to celebrate the Disney 100 day than to bring out 100 Disney characters. So they start flowing through the castle, down the slope onto the centre stage area. They didn't go up on the stage, they just stayed on the floor.
Which again means unless you were round the front where they were.
Unless you were front row, you could not
see. Yeah.
You maybe caught a glimpse of someone's head, but that was it. So yeah, it must have looked amazing. But
did from the video we got from whoever it was. I think it was ED92.
ED92.
We're in the front row.
We're in the front row, so I got a really good view. So yeah, so that's 9:30. It all finishes. So we go and bimble off to do some rides. The parade is scheduled for 11:30. There were people who waited, who literally did not move from their spot between the opening ceremony and the pre-parade parade. They were camped out.
We were expecting something epic.
We were there. We claimed our spot about 45 minutes before, because that's about the length of time I can actually stay in one place. And we were two rows back. We went round the quiet area, round by It's a Small World.
Which wasn't quiet.
It wasn't quiet. It was jammed. People were rammed into corners. They were stood on the railings. It was just manic. And we hear this music start, and we go, right, it's pre-parade parade. It was one float.
And it was a repurposed 30th
and it was a
anniversary
repurposed 30th anniversary float.
Yeah.
There was this one float with Mickey, Minnie, Donald,
Daisy and Pluto
on.
Oh, and Goofy as well.
On Goofy, 6 characters. And about 10 dancers behind them.
That was it.
In repurposed 30th costumes, to the point of you could still see the 30th symbol on them. They just got painted it over. And we were like, well, where's the rest of it? And we were like, well, there's none. And it's like, oh.
Especially after you've been for the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, the 25th anniversary. I will put some photos in, because obviously you've heard me talk about it, and I think people don't know what I meant by the special character parade they had then.
Cavalcade, they like to call it, don't
they? It was the character cavalcade, and I've never seen so many characters in one place. It was just, it lasted about 15 minutes, and the characters were like 4 abreast on Main Street. And there were characters I've never seen before and have never seen since in a Disney park. And that's both Florida and Disneyland Paris. I've never seen the characters that were in that parade in any park since, before or since. So, and I think that's the thing I know I said it on the day, I said it to Zach. I'm frustrated and disappointed because I know what they can do, and it's just the fact they never put the effort in. It's like, I know what you can do, I know what you're capable of, and you just don't put the effort in. And that's Disneyland Paris in general. And I think it just exasperated is the fact of it was a D100 day, and the fact they were only celebrating it for one day. You know, there was no special badges, there was no special desserts, there was no special pin,
anything.
there was no special anything. It was just like, yeah, well, we've done this, but it was like, well, we better do something. So yeah, really disappointed with pre-parade parade. It was like, why did you even bother? Because you really half-assed it.
We didn't even stay to watch the rest of the parade.
We didn't even stay to watch the rest of the parade. That's when we went to Victoria's and got our villains. Needed cake to make myself feel better.
And I needed a coffee.
Yeah. The selfie spots were basically, they had the characters on a stage that you could go and take your selfie with, like, you know, with them in the background, if you wanted to battle through a queue of 500 people. And it wasn't even a queue, it was just a mass crowd.
There is no way you would have been able to stand
There's
up.
no way I was going to do that. So we gave up in the Magic Kingdom, we went into the Disney Studios. They were doing a character meet and greet session, but the queue was 5 hours to meet the characters in their 100th anniversary garb outfits. Again, no way I could have done that. There's no way my body would have let me do that. The only good point for us was because everybody was queuing at these two selfie spots. The rides queues were non-existent.
Oh, we were walking on everywhere.
So we just went and did all the rides.
We did Web Slingers again, didn't we?
We did do. I love Web Slingers. Web Slingers is up there now in the top 3. So yeah, so then it comes to the end of the day, and we are getting ready for the post-show celebration.
And we opted to go for the studios because we thought it might be slightly quieter.
Yes, we thought everyone was going to want to watch it on the castle. So we decided to watch it on the tower.
And we love the drone show anyway. So.
And I love the drone show. So, yes, so we're there waiting. We've watched the drone show. And all we knew was they'd called it Constellation Celebration. That was all we knew. And it starts, and it's very cute. And it's got a lovely arrangement of when you wish upon a star. It's a new arrangement. It is lovely.
Yeah.
But... So one is it's everyone was waiting for this. It was pretty.
It was, and it was very moving.
It was very moving.
Heard anything ever. There was definitely silence.
Yeah, I've never known a park to be silent during a fireworks show or anything like that. But
yeah, it was unnervingly silent, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Studios park was silent. Everyone was just fixated on, you know. Now, this is where Disneyland Paris gets the good job, great idea, could have been better. You know, with a little more extra thought, it could have been so much better. It was basically, you had like the Sleeping Beauty book comes down, it opens up, and then it had a symbol of each film that had basically ever been made by the animation studios come out and drifted up into the stars, and
it was very pretty.
So very pretty, very moving, but you're celebrating 100 years of a Disney company. If it wasn't for Walt Disney, that Disney company would never have come into origin. If it wasn't for like Walt and Roy, we wouldn't have Disney. You know, we wouldn't have a park. We wouldn't have had Mickey Mouse. We wouldn't have had anything. There was no mention of them. There was not even Walt's voice. There was no photo of Walt. And you're like, I think you've just missed the whole idea of what this day is about. Yeah, but I said it was so moving, and I said it's the only time I've ever heard a park totally silent.
Yeah, they could have made it slightly better, but even if they'd put up, you know, like something like the partner statue where Mickey's holding Walt's hand.
Yeah,
like just a silhouette or something like that.
They could just have done something, just a nod to Walt.
Yeah, but there was no nods to him.
No nod to him at all. So yeah, that's my rant over about that. I've now finished ranting about the D100 day because I think I've made my
I'm glad we went because
concerned.
it's a once in a lifetime thing, and we were there, but it was a bit meh.
You just left with a bit of taste in your mouth because it could have been so much more. They could have done it better. But that's 90% of Disneyland Paris. They could have done it better. So yeah, I just I love Disneyland Paris. It's my home park. It's got stuff that's unusual to it, like the square trees.
And we did miss it. It was nice to be home. When
It was nice to be home.
When we stepped inside the park again, it was like a happy, fuzzy, oh, we're home.
Yeah, and because it is our home park and we've been there so often, we know exactly where stuff is. We haven't got to get the map out.
We can take things at our own pace.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I just think they missed the point of that day.
And it's mad because some things they do so well. Look at your face. Hello, drone show.
Yes, okay, I'll give you that one. Yeah, the drone show is amazing.
And like hidden gems, like things like the shawarma restaurant. You don't get that when you go to Disney World. That's just themed about. It's a very niche theme. It's themed something specific about a certain Avengers film, about a certain thing that happened, and it's perfect.
It's like one point in time in one of the Avengers films, and they've done it perfectly.
And it's perfect. Things like that, fabulous.
And it's like the inside upstairs in the castle.
Yes.
You know, the Sleeping Beauty story.
Yeah, in the stained glass windows.
Well.
Just
the stained glass windows and the tapestries
and our castle is by far the prettiest and most functional castle.
Yeah, and
out of all the
and it's like the small details, like the dragon under the castle.
Yep.
It's like, just no other castle has that. No other park has that.
No.
But then you give them something big to organise, and they cock it up on the grandest scale possible.
Yeah. Bless them.
So yeah,
they should put you in charge. I've said this million times. Put you in charge. Be fine.
Place will be run like clockwork. And don't get me. Yeah, the expansion is just a calamity.
We're not talking about bloody Frozen Land.
Yeah, the expansion is just a calamity waiting to happen. But I now know as well that part of their deal with having the land with the French government is they have to expand it every 10 years.
Yeah. So we're getting more.
So we will be getting more. And because that 10-year mark is coming up in about 5 years, they've got to announce the next land very soon. Because otherwise they're not going to meet the thing. So yeah. Which is nice to know that Disneyland Paris will continue to grow.
Well, let's be honest, it is the world's smallest Disney park.
The studios is, yeah. So it's nice to know they will continue to grow. What they bring to it is going to be the telling thing, though. And with the news we've just had this week with Universal Studios buying land in the UK, I think that's really going to give them a kick up the bum.
Well, it's the fact that Epic Universe is rattling along has given Disney World a kick up the bottom, hasn't it? They've suddenly decided that they really ought to pull their finger out.
Yeah, but Universal Studios have built a theme park in the time it took them to build a garden in Epcot.
Yeah, you're right. I don't finish that garden yet.
Exactly. They're still building it. So
the lights don't work.
They stopped working after 48 hours. But yeah, so I think hopefully, I mean, obviously they've come around and said they're going to put all this money into the parks. So hopefully Disneyland Paris does see some of that money. And I think with obviously Universal announcing they've just bought 500 acres in Bedford, and the fact of the UK make up a lot of the visitors in Disneyland Paris.
Because our theme parks are pants.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you like stupidly big roller coasters, which aren't my cup of tea, there's nothing for me at Alton Towers or Thorpe Park or Chessington World of Adventures.
Right. Chessington's aimed at the younger set. Chessington's aimed at the under 14s. I think once they get to being teenagers, they find it boring, apart from like 4 rides. But then it's so small, and there's not enough there. You end up queuing for like 2 to 3 hours per ride anyway. That's Chessington. Thorpe Park has got the bigger roller coasters, so it's mainly aimed at adults. But again,
It's not that big, is
it's
it?
not that big, and you've got, again, you end up queuing obscenely long queues for like 4 or 5 roller coasters. Alton Towers has the space, but you spend most of the day walking around it because it is so big, and it's up and down hill. It's not flat. I know this. I hate
It's not good for you.
It's not good for me. But that is huge, and the amount of land that Universal have just bought in Bedford is double the size of Thorpe Park. It's on par with Alton Towers, but we know Universal will make the most of that space
Because they take theme into the max.
because
don't
it will
they?
be amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't. They've confirmed they've bought the land. They're now doing the feasibility study.
Nothing will happen until Epic Universe is finished. So no breaking of ground till at least 2025. We know that. But they have said that they'll have it ready if they go ahead by 2030. So that'll give them 5 years to build a theme park.
And we know they can do that because
Yeah.
they've just proved it.
They've done one in 2 and a bit years.
Well, they've built a theme park and 3 hotels. I mean,
Yeah.
Disney, you've built a garden.
Oh, I don't know. They made Guardians of the Galaxy in that time as well, in a building that already existed.
Yeah, they did.
Sorry.
They built a new roller coaster. Come on. So yeah. But Disneyland Paris, I still love it. It still felt like going home.
We'll always love it. We'll always go
We'll
home.
always love it.
No
They
matter,
are
regardless of the
slowly
rating.
improving.
Yeah.
Slowly.
I think now they're making a profit. It's almost as though the Disney company are like, oh, we've got that park in Paris. Remember that Paris park?
Remember that Paris park? Yeah. But yeah, they are slowly improving. They're getting there. It's
And the fact that Josh and Bob have been over 2 or 3 times in the last 18 months as well means that they're actually paying attention to it, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was Michael Eisner's park. It was Michael Eisner's baby. Then it's like got forgotten about. Obviously, Chapek just didn't.
We're not allowed to talk about him.
Oh, I will. Obviously, Chapek just didn't pay attention to any of the parks. And yeah, it seems to they've actually remembered they've got a park in Paris. So yes, things are slowly improving. I said they've added another food festival in next year, so
Yep.
That'll be nice to see. The village regeneration is carrying on.
So Cafe Mickey is now a French.
Yeah, Cafe Mickey is now a French brasserie.
Brasserie, that's it.
That isn't getting very good reports by all accounts. So I can see that being changed sooner rather than later. I can see a menu change coming up with that one. Obviously, they've got the Disneyland Hotel opening in January.
Which is fine if you've got arms, legs and kidneys or more money than sense.
Yeah, cheapest room, out of season, midweek is £985 a night. I won't do it. So
That's
yeah,
half a holiday to Disney World.
that
Just
is.
saying.
Yeah. And Sequoia Lodge is next to be refurbished.
So we're going to lose a hotel for probably 18 months while they redo that.
Yeah. So it's looking like Disneyland Paris is getting the attention it deserves now. So hopefully things will continue to improve.
Yep.
And
we'll keep on keeping on.
And we'll keep on keeping on and keep going. So if you have liked this ramble and you want to see more of our Disneyland Paris coverage next year,
which there'll probably be quite a lot, I would imagine.
We've got to make the most of that annual pass. So yeah, if you'd like to keep on keeping on with us and see if I can find anything to rant about in Florida, then please subscribe to this channel.
I'm sure there'll be something.
So want to keep up the rants. Please subscribe to this channel. If you want to be notified of when we load new content, then please click the subscription bell.
I've missed that.
And we want to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
And a very Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year.
Even though we probably might record something in between.
Who knows? We don't know.
We might be remote though.
We'll probably be remote. So we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.